We read this, Umaltem et arlat levavchem. Circumcise the foreskin of your heart, Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 16. Friends, with all the spiritual warfare, with everything that is going on, we have to understand that we cannot live in fear of the serpent, that we have this power and authority. But the power and authority comes when we operate out of a deep love and intimacy with the Lord, seeking him diligently. And out of that relationship, there is a chutzpah, a boldness. There is an authority that allows us to trample the schemes of the enemy underfoot. But part of this is this idea of circumcise the foreskin of your heart. Now, we read these words in the middle of the month of Elul, the middle of the month of Av, as we head towards the month of Elul. So it seems like an odd phrase. What does it mean to circumcise our hearts, and why is it important? Friends, God wants you to circumcise your heart. Friends, here's the reality. The closer we get to the coming of the Messiah, the more power and authority God is going to invest in us. But it also means the more people are going to fall away. Don't be one of those. Circumcise our hearts. What does it mean? Why is it important for this month, this season, the season that we're heading into? The word for foreskin is orlah. Can you say orlah? O-R-L-A-H when it's transliterated. Orlah when it's transliterated. What does it mean spiritually to remove the orlah of our hearts? It's significant, but it can be confusing if you don't understand the deeper meaning behind the Hebrew. Orlah in Hebrew can mean barrier. Literally, orlah can mean barrier. So, for example, the Deuteronomy, the scriptures say you'll not eat of the fruit of a new tree until 3 years. It is considered orlah. There is a barrier. There is a blockage. You're not allowed to partake of the fruit for 3 years. Lots of significance there to the cross and Messiah, but that's for another time. But orlah means barrier. So literally this verse can be read, remove the barrier or the blockage of your heart. Friends, we need to cut away the barriers and the blockages that are keeping us from deeper and true intimacy with the Lord. When we turn away from God, when we sin against him, a barrier is created. Barriers and blockages are also caused when our hearts are wounded. When our hearts are wounded and they begin to heal, when a wound heals, scar tissue is left. And on a spiritual and emotional level, both when we distance ourselves from the Lord, when we disobey, when we're hurt in life, it can cause scars to appear on our heart, scar tissue, and our hearts scar, they lack sensitivity, and they even can become hardened. So some of us have been wounded in the house of our friends, by friends and family, have done stuff to hurt us. And our hearts have been wounded. And some of us have had hope deferred. I mean, most of us at some time has had hope deferred. It says hope deferred in Proverbs makes the heart sick. And all these make it difficult to be intimate with God because scar tissue lacks feeling. It lacks sensitivity. And it leads us to feel disconnected emotionally, relationally, and physically from God, others, and ourselves. I'm just declaring over you, God wants to heal the scars in your heart. God wants to heal the scars in your heart. Remember Scar in Lion King? He was wounded and became bitter. Oftentimes, our scars make us feel a lack of empathy and apathy and indifference if we don't heal it. So God wants to remove the scars on your heart, remove the barriers, remove the blockages, remove all obstructions that are creating insensitivity so that you can have a deeper connection to him. And I just declare over each and every one of you, your heart is going to be able to fully feel. Would you declare that with me? Lord, allow my heart to fully heal so I can fully feel. I just declare that over you right now. The Lord should make your heart fully healed so you can fully feel. Yes, a crushed spirit, Sarah, can also do that. If you feel crushed in spirit, if you feel wounded, if you're carrying burdens that are not yours to carry, meaning that we need to cast our burdens and our cares upon him because it cares for us. There is a heaviness, there is a scar, there is a healing that God wants to bring to you. He doesn't want you to walk, he doesn't want you to be part of the walking wounded. And it's especially sensitive and significant during this month of Av, because as we've talked about for weeks, this is a month of tragedy and loss, monumental tragedy and loss. When we go through monumental tragedies, when we go through great loss in our life, it hurts. And to protect ourselves, we often try and shut down our feelings and emotions or begin to dull them so we don't feel the sharpness of the pain. But if you dull your emotion, if you don't deal with the pain, it also allows you not to fully feel love as well. So this is a time of monumental loss. First and Second Temple destroyed. Something a lot of people know, Hitler obtained absolute power on the 21st of the month of Av, 1934. In the month of Av, Hitler got absolute power, which led to the murder of 6 million Jews and countless of other millions of people being murdered. And in light of such overwhelming pain, loss, and sorrow, it's easy for one's heart to harden and for bitterness to take root. But so we can't allow that to happen. God doesn't want that to be what's happening in your life. You are not, yes, Sharon, you're not the walking wounded. This is not how God intended you to live. In the month of Av, yes, there's tragedy, but it's also a month of love. The other day was the 15th of the month of Av. On the 15th of the month of Av, you have what's known as Tu B'Av. It is the holiday of love. It is the Jewish day of love, and it goes back to ancient biblical times. On Tu B'Av, it marked the start of the grape harvest, which ended on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and on the 14th day, both on Tu B'Av and on the Day of Atonement, single women would dress in white garments, and they would go into the vineyard and dance, and men would come out, and they would hopefully find their besher, their soulmate. And I just want to declare that over you right now. This is the time where soulmates were found. Also, that was true on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement too. They were happy days. So I just want to tell you, for all of you who don't have your soulmate, I just declare right now that God should bring your beshert. That's Yiddish for his soulmate. God should bring your soulmate. So I just declare that over you right now. God should bring you your soulmate. It's a time to arouse love. We're coming into a season in the month of Elul where it's time to arouse love. So this is a season, though, the reason why it's so significant to remove the barriers and the blockages, because if you don't remove the barriers and the blockages, it wreaks havoc on your relationship. If hurt festers in your heart and it is not healed, true connecting and lasting intimacy is going to be impossible. Friends, too many relationships, they fall apart. Why? Because of unresolved and unhealed emotional hurts. God doesn't want you. He wants to bring inner healing to your life, emotional healing and well-being and shlemut, wholeness. Unhealed emotions, hidden addictions, secret sins wind up creating these insurmountable barriers. And the enemy wants you to believe the lie. Remember, this is the month where we hear The enemy wants you to hear that you are broken. The enemy wants you to hear that you are damaged goods. You are not damaged goods. There is not something wrong with you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God has something better for you. And as we approach the middle of the month of Av, he wants us to remove the blockages of our heart. Ask him to heal your heart. Work on healing your heart. In preparation for next month, the month of Elul, which begins on August 20th. We'll talk more about it as we get closer. Very significant month. And Elul, one of the things, Elul is seen, the letters of Elul, one of the things that it's seen as is an acronym for Et Levavecha Ve'et Levav. Your heart and your hearts. As in, the Lord your God will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your descendants. So your heart and the hearts in Hebrew spell the first letter, spell the word Elul. Above all, the Lord wants your heart. He cares about your heart. He wants you to love and serve him. People look at the outward appearance, like it said to David, like Samuel concerning David, but the Lord looks at the heart. Friends, the Lord is looking at your heart. I want you to think about it for a moment. Why is the heart so key? Anatomically, the heart is at the center of your body. And its primary job is to pump blood throughout your body. And biblically, we know the life is in the blood. That's why blood is given to make atonement on the altar, because the life is in the blood. And so biblically, the life is in the blood. Therefore, the heart circulates life. And when our hearts are spiritually and emotionally healthy, we're capable of pumping love and life throughout our entire body and pumping it into the lives of others. I want to declare this promise over you. Ezekiel says, I will give you a lev chadash. I declare over you a lev chadash, a new heart, a healed heart. And I will put a ruach chadashah, a new spirit within you. And I will remove the stony heart from your flesh, and give you a heart of flesh. So the stony heart, the heart that can't feel, the hardened heart because of hurts, because of sin. I just declare that God would remove that heart of stone as he promised in the new covenant. That he'll write these words upon your heart. The promise is fulfilled in Yeshua when we ask him into our hearts. Yeshua came to save, but he also came to heal and transform you and bring you into greater spiritual connection and intimacy. Listen, don't settle just for salvation. What I mean by that is, don't settle just for knowing that you have a share in the world to come, that you're going to be with the Lord after you die. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But know that you can receive healing and abundant life in this life. Salvation is a free gift. But to experience the deeper levels of transformation in your life, you have to proactively seek the Lord, proactively seek to remove those barriers by passionately pursuing him, by turning away from sin, by actively seeking healing and wholeness in Yeshua. If you seek it, you will find it. And as you seek him, you'll find it. And as you seek it, you'll find it. So I just declare whole heart over you, healed heart over you, healing and feeling, healing and feeling. Just declare, Lord, healing and feeling from my heart, healing and feeling for your spouses, healing and feeling for your children whose hearts have turned. Heal them and transform them in Yeshua's name.